Dr. Obi Ezekwesili was speaking on our program, Politics Today, a couple of hours ago. Now, let's get more insight into all of this. I'm now being joined on the news at 10 by the former commander, Intelligence Brigade, Nigerian Army, Brigadier General Jejelola Karim. Thanks a lot for joining us on the news at 10. And there's quite a bit of joy on one hand, but contradictions on the other. What do you make of them, hearing what you've heard just now from various people commenting on this?
Well, a point of observation, I want to say I'm retired. I'm still not serving. I've just retired from the Nigerian Army as a former intelligence brigade commander. Well, I think the most important thing about the operation is that of the rescue of the pupils. The uppermost consideration should be the rescue of the boys in a safe and healthy condition, rather than all these rhetorics about who did what and how were they rescued. Of course, in a situation like this, there will always be negotiation. But I think the federal government deserves to be commended for swift rescue of these boys. Quite unlike in the previous incidents, this is about the first time that we see that we have a rescue of abducted pupils in a record of time. This, I think, is commendable. But notwithstanding this, we should know that what were the terms of the release of these boys. I think and I hope it is not such that could further compromise security for the abduction, further abduction of school pupils. And one thing we should realize is that now we have realized that schools have become targets of these terrorists. There ought to be proper arrangement to secure schools.
One of the reasons that I asked the question earlier is what you've just said now, the terms of the release, whether they went in and rescued them or, whether a negotiation happened. And that's part of what you're saying now. That's why the issue is on the ground in so many people's minds.
Yes, there are so many ways of tackling a problem. There could be military option. There could be diplomatic option, which could involve negotiation. And in negotiation, it is a question of compromise, give and take. Okay. In similar situations, all over the world, it is done. And Israel would not mind trading so many other things, like maybe 20 people for just one single soul. Because it is the image of the country that matters. Kidnap of a single person can lead to legitimacy crisis for any government. And I want to tell you that any government will want to do anything possible within its power to ensure that that captured person is released.
You talked about schools becoming a target, and obviously many parents are watching us tonight, those in that area and elsewhere. With schools resuming after Christmas, from what we're hearing, what do you think they should put in place in areas like that? Because most times you hear that, perhaps there's no perimeter fence, it isn't a school with a defined building in that kind of sense. What should we hope to see,
Yeah, like I've just told you, what we need to do is to reinforce security among many of those schools. When you want to reinforce security within those schools, you need manpower. In a local government, how many schools do you have there? How many security personnel do you need to guard or provide security in each of these schools? Now, we are talking of a place that is outside the Northeast where we have the main insurgency. We are talking of other states now. We are talking of Katsina. We have Zamfara. We have other places. So how many personnel do you want to deploy in each of these schools? That is where you will know that there is a problem. Now, any country must always ensure that its military is such, in terms of numerical strength and weapon inventory, is such that it's within, that can contain any threat assessment of that country. If you're a country of 100 million, 200 million, then your strength, the manpower of your military, should be able to contain the threat that is in contemplation. Because as a nation, you must always assess the threats, the danger at any point in time to your own national interest. And the military is one of the elements of national power, so it must always be factored in when you determine the size of your army, size of your navy, the size of your air force, and your military acquisitions. All these things, all these variables must always be weighed in.
All right. Thank you so much, former Commander, Intelligence Brigade of the Nigerian Army, Brigadier General Jajelola Karim. Thanks for sharing that with us tonight.
Thank you so much.